Hello YouTube, this is Karacakes bringing you another PGA Tour 2K23 video. We're here live with Week 15's CC walkthrough. It is the Storm and Norman Desert Challenge, and it will be at Meadows Blue. The course is made by Heisenberg, who is well regarded within the community, both on the designers and by players for his fantastic courses. He has made a lot of them that were well known and well regarded in 2K21, such as I believe it was called Cape Tasmania that we played on Plat one year, which was a very fun, windy track with lots of hills and bumps and elevation changes and a lot of wind. I remember them being very windy tournaments. His courses are very, very fun. Very challenging though in some regards, but usually he has a good mix of easy and hard courses. This is a course imported from 2K21 called Meadows. This is the blue course. There's a black course that's harder, but of course you are a CC player if you're watching this. Maybe you're a pro level player just wanting to get a look at how I think of my shots and stuff. So hopefully I can give a good experience and a good review of this course and how to approach it. The greens are a little funky because it's a straight import from 2K21, where the greens, you could have more extreme greens. So we will not be playing default conditions to counter that. Q has set up the course very friendly this week. So let's get looking. We're going to do round one. From the pin one, we're going to be playing from the blue tees. There's a mix of tees this week, so blue and white will appear. Low winds from the northeast. Low winds are always a good introduction to the course, right? You just get to play the course as is without thinking about the wind too much. Moderate firmness with soft green firmness and moderate green speeds. You will have 3 rounds of moderate green speeds and 1 on fast, so get used to the moderates. Default time of day and weather for this round, and let's get into the course. This is going to be a fun one. I always love Heisenberg's courses. I've played this in 2K23. I think it's a really good course, so hopefully I can give you guys a good preview of it. Starting off, you get a wonderful short par 4 that tests your skills. Are you willing to overpower and try to get through and try to get as close to the pin as you can? That's very doable on this hole. We're going to try that, and I'm going to show you what happens if you screw up, potentially. I'm feeling a little sick. My temperature isn't that best right now. So I'm going to do my best today, give you guys a good preview, and show you what happens when you're struggling sometimes. Maybe. Sometimes I pull out magic out of my hat, but I don't think today is one of those days. You can add spin to add distance, and then if you overpower, you're going to add even more distance on top of that. So what are you willing to do? What kind of risks are you willing to take? If you just hit it straight up, you probably land like right here and it'll be a chip for you. That might be good. But remember, if you're down here, this is a horrible place because the green runs away from the pin. Let's look at the pin, right? If we're over here, it runs away from the pin. It's going to be very difficult to stop that shot without flop with a lot of spin or a pitch with a lot of spin. A chip will likely not stop unless you're right next to the pin. So pick your poison. Choose what you want to do here. I'm going to overpower and show you the risks. Ooh, but we hit the tempo, but I didn't overpower it as much as I wanted to. We end up on the green. So it's that kind of easy, quote unquote. You only need a 101 or 102 to make sure you get up there if you add some spin. And that might be a beneficial thing for you. So it's going to be a very uphill putt afterwards. But remember, you're on moderate green, so you won't need to add as much power if you tend to add power to your shots. And let's see if we can get this close. Looks like it's breaking a lot more right at the end. And on slower green speeds, you're going to ignore some of the break at the start. Not all of it, but you're going to ignore some of it. Because you're hitting it so hard. This is going to be close to a 90% shot. You could also pitch a chip from there, according to TGC rules. So you're not forced to putt it from that long away if you're more than 75 feet. Actually, I didn't check if we were 75 feet or not, so don't take my word for that.
Alright, we get it in. Easy bird. There. But lay up if you're not confident. Okay, this fairway cambers. Heisenberg does this a lot with camber fairways. It wants to kick you over here into the rough, but as long as you hit like right here, you're going to be good. But if you hit up here, you're liable for a bad lie. The side hill lie that is tough to judge, so... Again, I'm going to shape it into the slope. Gives me a better chance of holding any shenanigans and gets me into a nice smooth spot right here, and that's kind of where you want to be. Here, long hybrid shot in. I'm even gonna loft it, cut out some distance, see if we can't land this softer. Ooh, we hit a slow, so it's definitely gonna be landing soft, just on the right side, unfortunately. It's a tougher pin to reach. You're gonna need your tempo. And then you need to get over this mound. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Sometimes you get lucky though. Try to find that drop point, right? And then you have a longer par 4 challenge, right? And so the challenge here is if you get too far, this might kick into the rough if you hit this ridge. Again, cambered fairways, you need to pay attention. So, be willing to shape or play short of those bumps. Because if we land on that bump right in the middle of the fairway, it's probably kicking into the rough. And then you have a decent length approach from the rough. 140, 150, 160, 170 at worst case scenario. Isn't very fun to hit out of the rough. It's hard to control. Luckily, this is a back pin, so being in the rough is not the worst case scenario, but it is tough. So either play for a place where it won't kick you hard to the right, or shape it into the slope to make it mute the slope a little bit. And as you can see, we have a really bad lie. I tend to push my ball as well, so I need to make sure I'm aiming far enough out here. You have a valley to work with, so if you're a little bit right, it should kick to left. If you're a little bit left, it'll kick to the right. That's good. We have a little slope up here that makes it stop. But if you are long and right, there's a chance it might not stop. It's going to keep going and rolling out until you're back here. So, try to hit in this area, right, with a longer club. And you'll be good. You could even use this part of the slope. If you hit like right here, it'll kick to the right. And you'll be in a good spot. Of course, now I'm hitting tempo when it's not a match play I was involved with earlier. And we use that slope to our advantage, right? Keeps us safe from the fairway over on the left. And we get it. Easy birdie. Pin high. Pin high there was pretty good because it was all flat slope at the hole. Alright, here we go again. Par 3, our first par 3. Very uphill at the hole, so you just need to make sure you land it a little short. You know, you have a slope back here that if it hits here, it's probably going to kick a bit, but we are with soft greens, so you can play aggressive shots that hit down slopes and stuff, because it won't kick that far. With the moderate green speeds as well, it's not going to roll out a lot on a 9-iron. Just play it a little short and you'll be safe. Oh, I pulled that. Whoopsies! And you can see what happens. My swing plane and tempo has not been the best today. We're hitting tempos right now, but I'm still a little off. I've been sick. I've been sick today, so I'm just trying to get through it. Birthday is tomorrow, which I'm very excited for. Today is Saturday, the 11th. Tomorrow's my birthday. I'm very excited. Because I'm gonna do nothing. As is my birthday tradition. I don't like to go out. I don't like to do anything. I don't have friends, Sarah. So, I'm gonna hang out. We're gonna have a birthday stream on Twitch, so if you want to come in before the Super Bowl, come on by. We're gonna stream early afternoon, Eastern time. So here, it's just hit the fairway, and then you have a tricky pin, right? Because you have a wedge in, which gives you a lot of control. But depending on your clubs, this might be an awkward distance or something. So pay attention to your distances. Don't be left. It's going to be down here in this slopey area, and it's going to have a lot of break and uphill, as you can see from over here. So your goal is to sort of hedge your bets on the right side, because if you're on the right side, you're definitely safe. Pay attention to the lie, pay attention to your shanks and everything. We're gonna loft this because we need to take distance off. Put a little bit of spin, but not too much. And again, we pulled it. And now we're just hoping it stays up here. Alright, we just barely stay up there. As you can see, it wants to go down the hill very quickly. So that's why it said be wary and try to play for the right side. Alright, here we go again. Another par 4 with camber in the fairway. Play shape into this fairway definitely, because if you hit up here, if you hit like this little lump, there's a good chance it rolls down here. Luckily, we're playing a moderate fairway, so like, it's not too bad. If you aim for up here, you'll be perfectly fine. If these were firmer fairways, you'd be in a little more danger. You'd have to think a little bit more about where you're landing it. Obviously, if you play for up there with an accidental slow in my case, but if you just play for up there, you're going to be in a pretty good position. Right, pin is downhill, but again, we have softer greens, so even though these greens are really aggressive and have a lot of break and slopage to it, we're playing on softer greens. You're going to have an easier time with it. So, you could put a little spin on it if you're wary. We finally hit a fast. But luckily, we do have spin on our ball. It will stop and we'll have an uphill putt from up here. That's the good thing about this, is if you land a little left, it won't be the end of the world, because on this slope, it won't keep traveling. Unlike the last slope where it was pretty yellow and it would have rolled down pretty far. That slope isn't too terrible. Just don't hit it too fast. Alright. Another par 3 with slope that you can use to your advantage. So this slope right here, it's going to feed toward the hole. So you can land sort of anywhere in this area. You'll be fine as long as you're kind of in the pin high region. If you land back here with these soft greens, it will probably stop somewhere like here. And then you have a very weird downhill, strange breaking putt. That'll be tough. You can also very easily go at this pin just straight up. But obviously, if you hit it slow, you're going to be over here. It's going to be a weirdo short chip. So playing over here, you know, to land somewhere in this region is going to be very good for you. You can even land it a little short. And the issue is slower greens, or slower and softer greens might kill the ball a little bit. So be wary. So we're going to play for that slope, play close to pin high, and let it come down. You can land it a little shorter. I was trying to land it a little shorter than that, but as you can see, now we got a good chance in this putt. Good. All right, here we go. Longer par 5. Lots of cambered slopes. So if you're going to hit this area, you need to think about it. Can you carry above this? If I put spin and loft or just spin, you're going to get extra carry distance, which might lead you to clear all this junk. But if you have a shorter driver, or you don't like to shape your driver, or your tempo is a little weak, you might hit here. So make sure you think about that and shape for it if you need to. Here, the longer driver is in our benefit. We're even going to add shape to make sure we get past all this junk and we don't end up in this rough or bunker. Still requires us to have very good tempo, though. And we just a touch slow, which is would be perfect if I didn't shape it. So I am very satisfied with that. And again, here we go. If you land in the fairway here, it's going to bounce a little bit more than if you landed on the green, but this is a front pin. This is a front pin and you're using a longer club. Getting the exact distance required to like trickle this onto the green is going to be tough for some people. So if you're one of those people who don't like to be super precise, you can kind of land it short, get one bounce, get it to roll, and hopefully it rolls in the green, or worst case scenario, you're kind of right here and you can putt it or chip it from here. That's pretty good. Being in the green is also good because you'll have an uphill putt. So if you end up being a little long, it'll be a harder putt, harder chance to get a eagle, but you might have an easier time getting a birdie. Don't go too far though, because it starts sloping, and you'll end up down here. So what I'm going to do is I am going to try to hit the green, which is going to be very tough. I have a big slope left to right. I need to take that into account, and any swing abnormalities, right? I shank it a lot. We'll just call that a swing abnormality. And see if we can't get it. Ah, too fast. And this is what happens when you get too cute and you miss your tempo, right? You're in a really awkward position. How do you save this? You're going to need a lot of spin. Loft lowers your distance, but because we're going downhill, it should cancel out roughly. We're just trying to get this to land as soft as possible and try to get it to stop. Yeah, I think we just managed that. Beautiful. Loft can help make your chips land a lot softer, but it does make the tempo harder to hit. And you have to keep in mind that it does take distance off. Alright. This is a very interesting par 4 because it's short. It's protected by this giant slope in front. Are you willing to go past it and land on the downslope of this rough? You can use the rough as a way to slow down the ball, right? You're on moderate fairways, so it will slow down the ball and it won't kick too far. Can you get it to use this rough to trickle just onto the green? Or are you going to play it safer, right? You can shape it a little bit like this with left to right shape and try to hit that slope that feeds to the hole from this position. That's not a bad idea. That's really not a bad idea to play it from the fairway over here and try to get it to kick to the left. And worst case scenario, you're on the green, you have a downhill putt, which can be tricky. If you're up here, this can be a tricky putt, but you should be able to stop it no matter what because there's upslope protecting that side of the green. So pick your poison. I'm going to try a tricky shot here, right? I'm going to use the rough. I'm going to de-loft to cut out some distance because we're going downhill in elevation and see if we can't get this to stop. This is a good show for all of you. Oh, it didn't kick as far right as I was hoping. I think it might have counted as a straight ball for me, unfortunately. And so it just went straight instead of going more right. But it is what it is. We need to get up this hill and then back down, so we're going to just use the default power and hope it gets there. Don't underhit it. Don't underhit it, alright? We got to go uphill to downhill. And we put a very good line on that. Very good line. Alright, here we go. This is where this fairway is very difficult. And this is where laying up can be beneficial. But it's going to be tough no matter what. If you lay up, you're going to have a lot of distance left. This is up 7, as you can see. That means up there, it's going to be still up another 30 feet. 30 feet plus. So I'm going to bomb it. I'm going to aim for the fairway. It'll kick to the right. Hopefully we end up in a good spot. But it's not going to be easy here. Yeah, you're always going to get a weird side hill lie. But we can live with it. Downhill, this is an extremely tough pin. Luckily, we have soft greens. So landed a little short. Funnel towards the hole. That's our goal here. A little fast, unfortunately. But it should funnel towards the hole a little bit. So not end of the world. Oh, that is a cruel lip out. So that doesn't break as much. It's on a weird slope, so those are always tough to read. Alright, par 5. Big wide open fairway. If these fairways are firmer, you need to be careful of landing it on either side of this hump because it will kick you into the rough. But if you can land on top of this dome or play for like the flat areas on the sides, you're going to be safe. So pick your poison. What do you want to do? I'm going to ride the slope. As you can see, it'll kick left if you're just on that side. Front pin, always annoying, always tough. Here in this scenario, we need to land it short. Perfectly fine with that. I didn't aim far enough for my push. Gonna take some loft to reduce the distance. That's so mean. That's so mean. Oh, we'll take the birdie though. You could putt it from there too. Oh, that's a bad slow. Luckily we slowed it enough to get over the bunker. But a lot of these are just like, you're gonna have to find a way to hit these fairways. Because playing from the rough on a course like this is always gonna be super tough. Here it's pretty straightforward. I'm gonna de-loft in this scenario just to make sure it has a distance to get to the pin. It's all in an uphill pin. You preferably want to be in front of the hole instead of on the side like I was, where it breaks more, but you know, just make the putt if you're pin high. Here, if you're willing to overpower, you can maybe get it to the pin. I don't think you can, but like maybe. We're gonna test it, right? We're gonna send it. This is stupid. I wouldn't suggest this. But you can try. Yeah, it gets pretty far. But I don't think you can ever carry it unless you hit this downhill part of the slope. So if you have a really good swing plane and tempo sometimes, you could sort of play for about right here. And if you could get it to hit right here, it will funnel towards the green. A little further to the left, but like if you can hit in this area, it will get towards the hole. So any distance, any wind at your back, you might be able to reach this pretty easily. Take our chip. Get it in. Alright. Tiny bit uphill. Safe play is obviously play anywhere in this hole. Because if you're here, there's a chance it runs off. This is a very tough pin. It's a precision pin. You need to play this a little safe. Gonna play for the right side of the pin. I'm even gonna slow it. Obviously not intentionally, but I didn't want to fast it, so my subconscious took over. My subconscious took over and said, okay, we're going to make this easy for you. We're going to slow it too. As you can see, it's a lot easier from there. All right, another short par 4. Heisenberg loves these short par 4s that are challenging because there's a lot of risk and reward. You can go for it, but you're not going to clear this bunker very easily. And if you're in this bunker, good luck getting out of the bunker. So 317, which is the distance of my fully backspin driver at 100% power, along with the downhill elevation and everything, it will get there. The question is, do you want to get it there? It is very risky. It is very challenging, but the risk can be worth the reward if you want to go for it. We slow it ever so slightly, it's going to be safe. We 102'd it. Like 102, 101, you're easily going to clear there with full backspin on a club with a driver with high shaping and everything. But it is risky, right? You can lay up and play for the fairway very, very, very easily. I think in a flat round, I might be thinking like, I need to play it safe here. If I'm in the rough, I'm in trouble here. I want to score birdies as much as possible. All right. Tough little narrow gap in this fairway. You're not going to get to it very easily with just the carry, so you have to think about rollout. If we're a little to the right, there's a chance it gets up there. Now, luckily, the fairways are, what, moderate? So it won't kick you too far, but do be wary. I'm even going to cut out some distance here. Gonna play a partial. 87%. Make sure we're in the fairway. No chance of rolling out to the rough this way. I take that. Little king of the mountain right here. Sloping away, sloping away. Sloping towards, luckily. It's not a pure crown pin, at least. You gotta know your distances here. Your goal is to land it like somewhere in this region, because the more right you are, the worse it gets for you. So land it somewhere here. Obviously, if you can land it right here, this is the perfect spot. Even here, might go in the hole, obviously, but the risk is very obvious. If you're over here, it might roll down. I know definitely if you're a little long, it's definitely gonna roll out. If you're like here, it might stop, but it is downhill. It's gonna run away a little bit from you. So we're gonna loft it. Put a little backsman. Play for the right side. Play for the left side, rather. As you can see, like, we are safe over here. We're still a little long. I don't like being a little long, but it's perfectly safe. This is the reason why I didn't like it a little long. It's a bit of break. But better than that than down the hill, right? Like with the 35-foot putt. Alright, another precision par 3. There's 3 of them so far. Just hit your tempo. Just hit your tempo. There's going to be something like here that's 100 yards as well. So on this hole, it's going to be very much hit what you consistently hit your tempo, aim where you want to consistently hit, land it, and just get as close to the hole as you can. There is no easy putt here. The easiest putt is the closest you can get it, but no matter what direction you're coming from, there isn't an easy putt. Obviously, down here is way worse. If you want to play for a safe spot, playing up here on this left-hand side is definitely safer than going directly at the pin and potentially being off to the right. I fasted that really badly, but I showed you. This is the safe spot to be. Just make sure you take off power because it runs off the slope. And make sure you play it high enough. This might be too much break, but we're just going to send and see what happens. Oh, if I didn't hit that too hard, that goes in. I hit it 2% over the power, I think. Because I felt the vibration stomp. Unfortunate. Very good read, though. Alright, and now the final hole. You have a big mound in here. You need to avoid it. Do you play the ground game here and play it for this right and play it to roll up to here? Do you go for the aggressive play, adding spin and or loft to make up the distance and get over the hump? You have a tiny bit of wind at your back. You can probably clear this with spin. Do you just play it safe? Play a layup. Play it right here. Land it, get it into here, and then play a slightly longer but manageable shot. Like if you're in the 280 to 290 range, that is a hybrid or a 3-iron. It's very, very doable. But if you go for the risky play and you get it over, you're going to have an 8-iron in, a 7-iron in, a 9-iron in. Pick your poison. End of the day, execution is what matters. And we go for it. We go for it aggressively. As you saw, we couldn't clear it even with the spin, but we played it enough where it would definitely kick out if it landed in that junk, and we're perfectly happy. We're in a little bit of an awkward distance. I'm going to need to loft this. I like this shot a lot. Front pin, you can land it a little short, but if you have too small of a club, it's going to die on this little hill in front. Little tiny bit of a false front, but not a severe false front. You can run it up there. If you have a longer club, like a 3-iron or 4-iron, it will climb up. So if you have one of those longer clubs, you could probably play it right here, get it to bounce up. It'll kick to the left a little bit and then roll, and you'll be right here or something, and that'd be beautiful. That's a beautiful shot if you can get it. Play for this right side a little more, because you have a lot more green to work with over here. You'll have a downhill putt, but if you play it and you land it here, it's going to kick to the left and maybe roll off. Like, best case scenario is, again, you're going to end up with a downhill putt just on this side. So, again, think about your shots, think about where they're going to potentially land. Played it short. These are soft greens. And that is exactly what we desire and love in our golf shots. Well, thank you for watching, everybody. This has been Ash Meadows Blue for the Storm and Norman Desert Challenge Round 1 preview. I hope you enjoyed. That is how you tame a course like that. Because of the soft greens, you get to be aggressive. Because they are only moderate green speeds, you don't need to worry too much. The moderate fairways make it so that you can hold the fairways a little bit easier, but you do need to be wary of certain spots in which it might want to kick you out into the rough. Luckily, this is a CC level course, so it wasn't too bad. I had a great time with the course. I love Heisenberg courses. They are a wonderful treat to play on. And I am glad he brought this one into 2K23. It plays very nicely on the green speeds. There are some tougher putts, and especially if you end up pin high on certain pins, it's going to be a bit of a breaker, but you are heavily rewarded for hitting your spots and getting it to stop close to the hole. And there are ways to make sure you can get close to the pin. Use the terrain to your advantage. Make sure you hit all the fairways. If you can hit all the fairways, everything becomes much easier, because hitting out of the rough, even on soft and moderate green speeds, it's still going to roll out a lot, especially on those downhill slopes. So, this has been Karacakes. Come on by to twitch.tv/karacakes tomorrow. If you want to hang out for my birthday, that would be Sunday the 12th, the Super Bowl Sunday. We're going to be streaming in the early afternoon. I'm not sure if I'll be playing Plat or not, but I'll at least probably play the CC course. So anyways, take care everybody. Love you guys. Mean it. I hope you found this enjoyable. Take care everybody.